3 individuals detained in MACC's second FIC probe. UMNO does not engage in politics of fear. Hello and good evening. I'm Mohana Priya. Welcome to News on 2. 3 individuals were detained by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) for being involved with the purchase of a hotel by Felda Investment Corporation (FIC) in Kuching, Sarawak 3 years ago. 2 of the suspects were detained in Putrajaya, while another was picked up in Kuching. The MACC said the first 2 suspects were detained at 9 a.m. today while having their statements given at MACC headquarters with regard to the purchase of the hotel. The 2 men aged 47 and 51 were directors of a company appointed as agents for the sales and purchase of the property, while the 3rd suspect, aged 57, was detained at 1:30 p.m. at MACC's Kuching office. The company director, who is the owner of the said hotel, was believed to have been the person appointed to elect the agents managing the purchase of the hotel. MACC Director of Investigations, Dato' Simi Abdul Ghani, confirmed that a new investigation paper has been opened and a thorough probe would be carried out. The suspects have been remanded until August 4th. The second probe into FIC's purchase of a hotel has prompted MACC to gather evidence on the purchase said to be overpaid by millions of ringgit. Prime Minister and UMNO President Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak said the party will continue to give hope to the people through politics of hope and not the politics of fear as used by the opposition party. He added that the politics of fear is aimed at destroying the people's hope for the country by overthrowing the current government.
UMNO tak main the politics of fear. UMNO akan terus memberi keyakinan dan pengharapan kepada rakyat Malaysia kita ini. Orang yang main politics of fear ni, bila dia tidak ada kuasa dan dia nak menumbangkan orang yang memegang tampuk pemerintahan ataupun orang yang berkuasa.
Datuk Seri Najib said this during the launch of the UMNO Parit Division Delegates meeting at Maktab Rendah Sains Mara in Parit, Perak. During the event, he also approved an allocation of 3 million ringgit for the repair of houses in the Parit constituency and an application to list the paddy fields there to come under the Seberang Perak Integrated Agricultural Development Area. The Chinese community should not continue to fall prey to DAP's promises as they were never fulfilled. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said in the 12th and 13th general election, DAP pledged to improve the people's lot, but nothing had come out of it.
Tapi saya menyeru orang-orang Cina, pengundi-pengundi Cina di Malaysia ni cukuplah. Cukuplah ditipu oleh DAP. Ini masanya PRU ke-14 patah baliklah kepada BN. Ya, ada kelemahan sedikit-sedikit dalam ekonomi. Ada. Negara mana yang tidak menghadapi masalah ekonomi sekarang ini? Bagi tahu saya, Britain ada masalah ekonomi. Trump, tokoh korporat, bilioner.
Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said this when opening the Kota Melaka UMNO Delegates Conference today. Also present were Melaka Chief Minister Datuk Seri Idris Harun and Kota Melaka UMNO Division Leader Datuk Latif Tambicik. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said BN component parties, especially MCA and Gerakan, should work hard to regain the people's confidence ahead of the 14th general election to prove that BN was capable of looking after their interests. He said BN should work hard from now for the 14th general election to avoid the coalition being called rhetorical by the people. The Natural Resources and Environment Ministry is identifying suitable measures to protect wildlife, especially endangered species that were seized in smuggling activities. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, said the ministry welcomes the cooperation from non-governmental organizations and other parties to contribute to the necessary measures. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi added that smuggling activities were alarming following the numbers of non-indigenous wildlife seizures, which amounted to hundreds. As some of these wildlife were not indigenous to Malaysia, he said they should not be released into the country's environment.
Ataupun spesies yang boleh mengancam kedudukan spesies lain lokal walaupun sejenis. Jadi kita bimbang dia akan mendatangkan satu kemudaratan kepada flora and fauna.
Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi said this after witnessing the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Department of Wildlife and the Malaysian Association of Veterinary Pathology in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang. A total of 19,000 vials of vaccines had been distributed by the Veterinary Services Department in its effort to contain the rabies infection in Sarawak. Of the number, 11,124 dogs, 7,595 cats and 45 other animals were vaccinated since June 30th. Its Director General, Datuk Dr. Khazan Nizamuddin Hassan Nizam said to date the vaccine is sufficient and the department still has 25,000 vaccines in stock.
Mereka dah menggunakan lebih kurang 18,000 dos. Dan tambahan vaksin telah dibawa masuk daripada negara Singapura sebanyak 25,000 dos. Sebab Singapura ada vaksin yang expire hujung tahun, dia menawarkan untuk hantar untuk kita gunakan. Dan di Kuala Sepetang kita dah gunakan 1,000. Kita masih ada stok dan 50,000 dos vaksin akan dibawa masuk dalam masa seminggu lebih.
Datuk Dr. Khazan Nizamuddin said the department continues to increase control of the infection with the cooperation of over 100 volunteers from various agencies and government departments. He added that pet owners are advised to take necessary steps by not allowing their pet to roam freely and to have them vaccinated to reduce the risk of infection. He said this when he was met by RTM at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport today. Until yesterday, a total of 22 areas in Sri Aman, Serian, Tebedu and Kuching have been gazetted as rabies-infected areas, which to date took the lives of 4 children and an adult in Serian. The Health Ministry aims to lower the cost of treatment for hepatitis C patients by year-end. According to Health Director General Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, the Ministry is working with international organizations as the current cost of the entire treatment for hepatitis C patients was extremely high. Currently, more than 500,000 Malaysians have hepatitis. However, the awareness of the disease was still low among the people. In 2015, 320 million people worldwide were recorded suffering from hepatitis, which causes inflammation of the liver. Out of that number, 257 million were suffering from hepatitis B, while 71 million suffered from hepatitis C. However, only 7% of the chronic hepatitis C sufferers sought treatment as costs were too expensive.
Dijangkakan kita dapat menurunkan rawatan hepatitis C daripada $80,000 ke $300. Itulah rancangan kita di Kementerian Kesihatan. InsyaAllah kita akan dapat laksanakan pada akhir tahun inilah.
He spoke during a briefing after flagging off a walk-a-run event held in conjunction with the World Hepatitis Day at Kepong Metropolitan Park, Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, at the same event, Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham said the move not to allow unvaccinated preschoolers from joining any preschool is still under consideration.
Jadi kita nak menggalakkan, tindakan tu ialah untuk menggalakkan ibu bapa untuk vaksinkan anak mereka. Itu yang lebih penting. Tapi kalau dia tak ada vaksin, kita tak nak dijangkiti budak-budak sekolah preschool ni lah.
Datuk Dr. Nur said to date, many parents are still refusing to vaccinate their child, especially those in urban areas. A child needs to be given 12 types of vaccines, which include a series of 5 shots aimed at avoiding various types of ailments, including diphtheria. The Pulau Pinang population has recorded a relatively high blood donation rate of 24.4 per 1,000 people, and the number was almost on par with the developed nation at a rate of 30 per 1,000 people. Proud of the achievement, Deputy Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Hilmi Yahya urged all parties across the nation to follow suit so that there is an ever-ready supply of blood for any possible emergencies. According to Datuk Sri Dr. Hilmi, Malaysia needs almost 2,000 bags of blood a day to meet the needs of patients. Datuk Sri Hilmi was speaking after officiating the state-level World Blood Donor Day celebration.
Sebenarnya kalau derma darah, badan kita lebih sihat. Kalau tak derma pun, sel darah tu dia akan mati dalam masa 120 hari. Jadi lebih baik kita derma darah tu dan orang lain boleh pakai. Kita boleh menyelamatkan nyawa orang lain. Sebenarnya kalau kita kena kempen kesedaran di kalangan masyarakat kita, orang muda 18 tahun ke atas sehingga umur 65 tahun boleh derma darah.
Last year, as many as 46,485 bags of blood were successfully collected from all hospitals in Pulau Pinang to meet the needs of patients in the state. A total of 15,000 veterans of the Malaysian Armed Forces ATM are expected to attend the Warriors' Day celebration to be launched by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak on Monday. In conjunction with this celebration, these veterans are hoping that the government will continue to take care of their welfare and review the amount of pension payment received. The Yangi Pertua of the Malaysia North Zone Veteran Club Commando, retired Corporal Sani Osman, said with the current cost of living, the current amount received is insufficient.
Tapi saya sedih jika veteran saya yang terdahulu yang pergi tinggalkan isteri, anak-anak, pergi ke masuk hutan untuk operasi, ada yang macam-macam lah. Yang mati itu matilah, yang terkorban kan, kita nak buat macam mana, itu dah. Ini yang putus kaki, yang putus tangan, maknanya kehilangan anggota badan, tubuh badan kita. So pencen mereka tu pada saya tak relevan, orang kata. Saya minta.
At the same time, he did not deny the role played by the Department of Veterans Affairs, which defends the welfare of the veterans. To date, 118 registered associations with JHEV involved almost 119,000 ATM retirees and 175,000 ATM members who are still serving. All 12 anglers and 3 crew members of a boat which went missing in waters of Kuching last night were found safe this morning. The Sea Wonder, which experienced technical problems with its engine, was found by the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA search and rescue team 40 nautical miles north of Tanjung Sirik at about 11 a.m. today. District MMEA Deputy Director of Operations, Sharif Steve McQueen Abdullah, said efforts are now being made to tow the boat back to shore. The boat was experiencing engine failure 82 nautical miles northeast of Tanjung Po when it was last contacted at about 4 p.m. yesterday, and efforts were underway to tow the boat. It is expected to arrive in Kuching at about 11 p.m. tonight. The boat departed from Kampung Gobilt's Muara Tebas jetty at about 1 p.m. yesterday, and a report was made upon learning of its disappearance at about 8:15 p.m. A search and rescue was immediately launched. Elsewhere, a policeman drowned after a boat ferrying 10 anglers capsized at the Semenyih Dam on Friday. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Operations Centre Officer Muhammad Hisham Siddiq said they were alerted about the incident at about 11:48 p.m. yesterday. Muhammad Hisham said firemen who were deployed to the scene were able to rescue 9 of the 10 anglers on board at about 6:58 a.m. The victim, identified as Lance Corporal Amir Nur Rashid Zul Rashid, 28, from the Sepang District Police Headquarters, was found dead by firemen at about 11:26 a.m. today. The remains of the victim were handed over to police at about 11:35 a.m. A woman has asked for the public's help to locate her 2 disabled daughters who had failed to return home since July 4th. Safrila, or Shafia Andi Abdullah, aged 37, and her older sister Asmina Andi Abdullah, aged 39, were said to have left the house to look for a job. According to their mother, Anung Dawi, she last saw Safrila and Asmina, who had mental disabilities, on July 4th, when they expressed their intention to leave the house to find a job at Lakin bus terminal. 3 days later, Anung received a call from a man who told her that Safrila would like to speak to her. Her daughter had apparently been sulking after Anung did not give her a sum of 1,000 ringgit that she needed.
Mula-mula laki-laki, dia cakap, halo, ini anak makcik nak cakap. Aku bilang, saya tak faham. Dia bagi saya punya anak ini. Jadi saya bercakaplah dengan dia. Dia kata, itulah dia kata, mak sekarang saya di terminal bus Laking kerja. Kononnya itulah majikannya itu laki-laki.
Following fruitless search efforts to locate her two daughters, Anung filed a police report on July 14th. She appealed to anyone with information on the whereabouts of her daughters to please contact the Sungai Pele police station at the number 0331411222. A hostel in Sepang, Selangor was destroyed in a fire this morning, leaving almost 40 orphans without a place to stay. They, however, managed to save themselves from the incident. The 4:30 a.m. incident was noticed by a hostel caretaker who woke the orphans up before contacting the fire department. KLIA Fire and Rescue Department Chief Deputy Superintendent Khairuddin Jamaluddin said 25 firemen from the KLIA, Sepang and Cyberjaya Fire and Rescue Department were mobilized to the scene after receiving a distress call. The fire, which spread to the caretaker's house an hour later, caused 2 blocks of the 2,400 square feet hostel to be fully destroyed. The fire was put under control about an hour later and was completely extinguished at 8 a.m. All those involved were placed at a temporary hall nearby. The cause of the incident and total loss is still under investigation. And that concludes this evening's News on 2. In our top story today, 3 individuals detained in MACC's second FIC probe. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Stay tuned to TV2. Good night.